All right, Star Kiper back here in the Star Vegas Inc. studios for another year of lot football. 2014 lot season's getting ready to kick off here with week one. Heard from some of the executives that we're trying to do a little something different this year, trying to pare it down. We heard that we were a little too lengthy last year, so turned into like a 40-minute podcast. Some of the listeners, it seems like the demographic, women aged 35 to 45 named Amy weren't interested in watching because it was too lengthy. So we're going to try to pare it down and make it interesting for everybody. So the format's going to be run through every game, give you the player I love and the player I hate from each team, and then sort of give you a prediction of what I'm thinking is going to be the outcome. So without further ado, let's get started. I've got Outlaw at Scoresman. I'm calling this one the Absentee Bowl since neither one thought it was necessary to actually show up for the draft. Looks like Outlaw's getting 4 in this one. For Outlaw's side, I love McCoy in this matchup. He's got Jacksonville this week. They're kind of a mess, a young team in transition. I think he's going to have a big day. The player I hate on that side is D'Angelo Williams. D'Angelo is the third best running back on his own team. He's got no business being the second best running back on Outlaw's team. So don't expect much from D'Angelo in that matchup. On Scoresman's side of the fence, I love Julius Thomas. I think the Denver Indy game is going to be high scoring, and I think Julius has got a chance for a couple scores coming from Manning. The player I hate is the entire Patriot backfield that Vinny seems to be employing there. James White's still available, Vin, if you want to get the whole depth chart. I'm just saying, if that's something you're interested in. But I just don't like the fact that he's got 2 of the 3 New England running backs on the field at the same time. I do think that Scoresman's going to pull this out because I don't believe that D'Angelo Williams is going to add anything for Outlaw, so that gives Scoresman a little bit of an advantage. Look for maybe a long screen pass to Shane Vereen to be the difference in that one. So Scoresman wins and covers. Moving on, got Bad Ben and Mama, the Father Knows Best Bowl. Well, apparently he doesn't because he drafted Cam Newton as his starter. Don't believe in Cam. Obviously, that's the player that I hate for this matchup for Ben. The player that I love is Forte. Buffalo will once again give its fat, worthless fans another reason to contemplate suicide. It's going to be a dismal season in Buffalo, and they're going to get off to a rough start because that Bears offense is pretty potent. So I love Forte there. On Mama's side of the house, I love Jimmy Graham. Atlanta's secondary is young. They're terrible. I don't think they're going to stop anybody this year, let alone the best tight end in the game. So look for Jimmy Graham to have a big day. And the player I hate on Mama's side is Bishop Sankey. He's not number 1 on the depth chart. He's probably going to get limited touches. If he gets 8 touches the entire game, I think that's going to be a big number. So don't look for much contribution from Sankey there. The good news for Mama is that I think Luck has to keep pace with Tweedy in that Denver Indy matchup, so he's going to be throwing quite a bit. So I think Mama wins and covers that matchup because of that. Moving on to Stinker at Kitty. I'm calling this one Fire Sale. I guess the question is, will this game be played if both teams are sold by 8 o'clock tomorrow night? Who knows? We're all kind of in the dark on that one. But let's keep our fingers crossed that both owners keep cool heads and try to keep this thing together so that we can have a positive year moving forward with both those teams under good ownership. So let's get right down to it. Stinker's getting 2. On Stinker's side, I love Breeze. What's not to love? I just talked about Jimmy Graham and the day he's going to have. Obviously, Breeze is going to have the same kind of day against that Atlanta secondary. The player I hate is Vernon Davis. It's been a rough start to the San Francisco season. I haven't seen a whole lot from the passing game yet. And I think Crabtree, Bolden, there's a lot of other viable options out there. Stevie Johnson came out there in free agency. So a lot of balls to go around there. Not sure that Vernon Davis is going to be a difference maker for Stinker right now. On Kitty's side of the house, I love Eddie Lacy. I think Green Bay is going to use him to move the football. Obviously, the Seattle secondary is one of their strengths. So they're going to try to soften up the middle of that defense and then take some shots down the field once they get the run game going. So love Eddie Lacy and what they're going to do there. Hate Victor Cruz. The Giants have looked horrendous in the preseason. They brought in this new short area passing West Coast offense that Coach McAdoo brings with him. I haven't seen anything from any of the receivers. They're still all running the wrong routes. Eli has no idea where any of them are going to be. I think if the entire Giants passing game puts up 100 yards in this game, that'll be a miracle. So hate Cruz in this one. I think for this reason, Stinker's got a little bit of an edge, so I'm going with the upset special. Stinker's going to win. Star at Fuff, calling this the Champions Bowl. Last 5 years, the champs come from one of these two organizations, so this figures to be a good early season matchup. Fuff's getting 10. I think it's kind of a testament to the team that Star's put together. Let's start with Star's side of the house. Love Cutler. Obviously, we talked a little bit about Buffalo and how they're going to get eaten up by Forte. Well, I think Cutler's going to have a similar game. Look for him to toss multiple touchdowns, maybe be close to 300 yards passing in this one. I hate Randall Cobb. Normally, you have to love a player like that, but as I said, Green Bay going to Seattle, going up against that tough secondary. He's going to draw Richard Sherman some of the time. I just don't think Cobb's going to have a really big week. On Fuff's side of the house, I love Monty Ball. I think as a whole, Denver's going to run the ball more this year, and I think it starts in week 1. I think Ball's going to get a chance to get a couple goal line carries, maybe some touchdowns there. He'll be involved in the passing game. Look for over 100 yards combined passing and rushing, so he should have a really nice start to his season. And the player I hate on Fuff's side is Kelvin Benjamin. That's a tough Bucs secondary. They're young. The whole defense, as a matter of fact, they're going to get after Cam Newton. Lovie Smith is going to confuse the rookie wide receiver a little bit with some of the coverages that he's going to run on him. So look for him to struggle a little bit out of the gate against that Bucs defense. So as an outcome in this one, I like Star to win, but Fuff to cover. I just think the line's a little bit too big there. Moving on to what I'm calling the game of the week, and it's just because of the history between these two teams. Shark at Hooligan. I'm just terming it grudge. Nothing else needs to be said there. Looking at Shark getting 3. On Shark's side, I love Kaepernick. And I know I've been dogging the 49ers preseason and everything else, but they're playing Dallas, and the Dallas defense is atrocious. They don't know what they're doing. They're still trying to adjust to playing that Tampa 2. They don't have the personnel to fit it. So look for Kaepernick to do it with both his arm and his legs in this game. He could throw for 2 scores and run for another one, so I think he's going to have a big day. I can't say that I hate. I'll say I dislike Arian Foster in this one. Foster's, coming off the injuries. He didn't have a whole lot of reps in the preseason. The Houston offense has looked kind of anemic. They just got Ryan Mallett traded to them from New England. I'm assuming he's going to be their starting quarterback. He doesn't know the system yet. So I just think that it's going to take a little bit of time for this Houston offense to get up to speed. So I wouldn't look for Foster to have a big week 1. That's all I'm saying. On Hooligan's side, who else are you going to love but Tweety? I mean, he could throw for 4 scores with his eyes closed in this game. So look for him to come out throwing. I hate Doug Martin. Carolina had a good defense last year. It's going to be good again this year. That Bucs offensive line is a mess. I know they traded for Mankins at guard, but I don't think that's going to solve all the problems. So I think Doug Martin's going to find running room pretty tough against that Carolina front 7. Saying all that, I'm looking at an upset special. I've got Shark to win. So hope you enjoyed it. Tried to keep it short there. I'm looking at about 9 minutes. Everybody enjoy week 1. Have a great time. I'll see you guys in week 2. Star Kiper out.